On March 17th, 2025, a short video was recorded showing a young woman named Emily Carter smiling happily while making a social media reel after her wedding. In the video, Emily looked excited about her new life. The reason for her happiness was her 3-year relationship with a man named Daniel Brooks, whom she had married just 12 days earlier, on March 5th, 2025. Their relationship had not been easy. Both of them had to convince their families for a long time before they were finally allowed to marry. After many emotional arguments and discussions, both families agreed, and the couple finally tied the knot. Their wedding was a joyful event, within just a few days of entering her husband's home. Emily had impressed everyone with her sweet behavior and charming personality. Daniel's family believed happiness had finally arrived in their house. But what nobody realized was that along with those celebrations, tragedy had already begun silently walking toward them. Just 2 days later, on March 19th, 2025, everything changed forever. Daniel Brooks, a 21-year-old resident of Aurora, Illinois, had been married for just 2 weeks. After celebrating the holiday weekend with his family, he returned to work. Daniel worked with his 3 brothers, Michael, Ryan, and Jacob Brooks, in their family construction business. The company had been started by their father, Robert Brooks, and had grown into a successful heavy equipment rental company operating across multiple counties in Illinois. The family owned several hydraulic cranes, loaders, and construction machines, which they rented out for major building projects. That afternoon, Daniel had finished work at a site near a small town called Bella Ridge, about 17 miles away from his home. After completing his work, he stopped at a roadside diner to grab some food. While sitting there, he called his older brother Michael and his wife Emily. He told them that his work at Bella Ridge was done and that he was heading back home. The drive normally took around 40 minutes, but Daniel never made it home. Evening passed, then night fell. At first, his family assumed he might have stopped somewhere for work, but as the hours passed, their concerns started growing. They tried calling his phone multiple times. No answer. Finally, late at night, they called again. This time, the phone was answered, but the voice on the other side wasn't Daniel's. It was a police officer from the Aurora County Sheriff's Department. The officer told them something that would change their lives forever. Daniel Brooks had been found severely injured near a wheat field outside Paley Road, and he had been rushed to the hospital. Hearing this news, the family felt their world collapse. Just a few hours earlier, Daniel had sounded completely fine. Now, he was fighting for his life. The entire family rushed to the hospital. When they arrived, Daniel was lying unconscious in the ICU, connected to several machines. Doctors informed them that he had suffered extremely severe head trauma. The injuries were so brutal that it didn't look like a normal accident. At the same time, the family was worried about Emily, Daniel's newly married wife. They didn't know how they would tell her that the man she had married only 2 weeks ago was now battling death. After gathering courage, they called Emily's parents and informed them about the incident. When Emily heard the news, she broke down in tears. She cried uncontrollably and kept asking the same question again and again. What happened to Daniel? Her family tried to calm her down, but she could barely stand. Finally, they took her to the hospital. The moment Emily saw Daniel lying unconscious, she collapsed in tears. The scene was so emotional that even strangers in the hospital felt deeply moved. But fate had already made its decision. Over the next 2 days, Daniel's condition continued to worsen. Despite the doctor's best efforts, he eventually lost the battle for his life. Just 14 days after his wedding, Daniel Brooks was gone. The house that had recently echoed with wedding celebrations was now filled with mourning and grief. However, what nobody knew at that time was that Daniel's death was not an accident. It was a carefully planned murder. And the shocking truth would soon reveal that the conspiracy behind Daniel's death was connected to someone very close to him. Someone who had been crying beside his hospital bed. His own wife.